Hey Bama fans, each Tuesday and Thursday at 2 p.m. Central, join us live for Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR. This live streaming talk show features the latest on Alabama athletics with exclusive conversations with Tide student athletes, coaches, and media members giving their perspective on the Crimson Tide. You can watch on YouTube, Facebook, and X, with all conversations archived as well on the Alabama Insider podcast. Roll Tide with Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR. Join us tonight for Alabama men's basketball against Florida State in an exhibition in Birmingham, Ballin in Boutwell. Tip-off is set for 7 p.m. with our coverage on the network starting at 6 p.m. Central. Crimson Tide Today is brought to you by Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR. Crimson Tide Today is a production of the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
And just like that, boom, we're back, we're live, we're brand new. It's Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond, welcome in on a Thursday morning. Another beautiful day to start here in the Tennessee Valley. Should be another beautiful day all around. 57 degrees right now. Your high today, 82. Just a few more days of the 80s, and then we will dip into the 70s. You know what? Next week, our highs are going to be in the 60s. 64, 69, 67. Our lows going to be in the 40s, 45, 41, 42. That means you need to give Talent Heating and Air a call because you may just have to flip on the old heater in the morning. May need a tune-up between now and then. They can do it for you. 256-503-4490. TalentHVAC.com. Give the guys a call. They're live. They're local. They will answer. I promise. They're good peoples. Thomas, Terry, Jeremy. Give them a call. Talent Heating and Air. Again, 256-503-4490. A lot to get through today. College basketball, college football, all happening last night. We had exhibition basketball last night. Battle in the Boutwell down in Birmingham. Auburn, Oklahoma State meeting each other. This one goes to overtime. Oklahoma State nips Auburn in overtime, 97-95. Because of that, we do get our first experience of Stephen Pearl after the game. Coach talking about defense.
In the scouting report, we have to, their guards are the one group that can beat us. And we as coaches did a really bad job of taking the ball out of their hands. That's 100% on me. That's 100% on our staff. We had a really bad game plan, and that's on us. We thought keeping them on the side of the floor and impacting it would be good enough, but it wasn't. They were really quick, and they were able to get downhill. Didn't do a great job of guarding their strong hands. They were all really good left-hand drivers, and they got down left every single time. So we got to do a better job of, drilling, giving more help defensively, but also like when they had ball screens, we should have been blitzing those ball screens every single time, and we didn't. So that's 100% on me.
Exhibition basketball, plenty to work on, plenty to do going forward. But anyway, Auburn basketball under the Stephen Pearl era underway, not officially, because it doesn't mean anything in the standings, but it's a lot to learn from as far as exhibition college basketball.
Well, it's a first step in the process. And for this Auburn team especially, their best player is going to be Tahad Pettiford. And he struggled last night. He only went 4 out of 16. And they're going to need him to be really sharp. And the first team All-SEC pick that in the preseason that he is. And everybody knows I hate that stuff. But, if you're going to have a preseason All-SEC team, then Tahad Pettiford's got to be on it. He was a guy that was a sixth man last year for Auburn, but was still one of the best freshmen in college basketball. And he was a huge piece of coming back to this team for Auburn. He could have gone into the NBA draft, potentially been a late first round, early second round pick and stayed in school. And so he's going to be a big part of it. He just didn't have his best game last night.
Right
now, Keyshawn Hall, the transfer from UCF, he was awesome. I mean, he had 26 points, and again, but to show you, I'll be honest, in that overtime at the last possession of the game, Auburn went for the tie. They didn't go for the win. I mean, if it's a regular season game, you might very well pitch it and go for the W, depending on how the flow of the game is going, foul trouble, all that stuff. So, and I'll be honest, they've been playing all week. And we already kind of talked about the 74-73 Alabama A&M win over Samford. Over Samford.
By the way, Anthony Roy, the nation's leading scorer last year from Green Bay.
Yeah, is at Oklahoma State.
Is at Oklahoma State. He had 28 last night as well for Oklahoma State. So
our friend Nathan King was there from Auburn 247.
Yeah.
He said Anthony Roy is a menace, which would be that Auburn couldn't guard him last night. And you heard Stephen Pearl talking about how he felt like as a staff they didn't handle Oklahoma State's perimeter very well. But, wow, I mean, look, man. I mean, Steve Lutz is the coach at Oklahoma State, second year. Scott, we saw him in our city. He won the Conference USA tournament his 1 year at Western Kentucky as the 3 seed. So he's trying to get that program back in Stillwater. And again, the fans are getting their money's worth these games. Alabama will be playing Florida State tonight.
Yep,
and
the third game in 3 days there. So Alabama, Florida State tonight, another exhibition game, battle at Boutwell.
Yeah.
So
brought to you by Hibbett Sports.
It's the third time. Remember, who did Alabama play a couple years ago when they did this in there?
Well, they played last year, and I think it was Wake Forest.
I forget, but they did that. That started this whole momentum.
Yeah.
It worked out well. It was a unique environment because Boutwell only seats about 2,500 people. Yeah, it's a very, very small, intimate setting.
It's like a high school gym, and I'm not saying that to,
No, it just gives you the size of what we're thinking.
Yes, intimate venue.
Yes. And so Alabama will play Florida State there tonight in exhibition play.
The women will play Florida State at noon as well. So there'll be 2 games over there today.
All right. So we'll talk more exhibition basketball as the week kind of rolls along, just kind of throwing it out there because it is going on. There was college football last night. And speaking of the nation's top rusher, Cam Cook goes for 117 yards and 3 scores as Jack State forced turnovers. That led to them being perfect still in Conference USA play as they get a win over Delaware last night, 38-25 at home. They are now 3-0 in conference play under new head coach Charles Kelly.
Okay, it shows how big is Delaware State in Conference USA.
Delaware, the Fighting Blue Hens.
I'm sorry.
Delaware, the Blue Hens are in Conference USA.
Good Lord, I haven't really been keeping up with all this real. I didn't realize the Fighting Flaccos were in Conference. Well, that's truly USA if you're having to go all the way to Delaware.
You get to experience all of its beautiful majesty.
Hey, man, they need to do that as a gift with you doing that. Like, Conference USA. Oh, hell.
Let's see here.
I will say this, in the group of 6, which is what you would call Conference USA, they have become the transient conference. And what I mean by that is they're the vehicle for a lot of these schools moving up, and I'm talking about moving into their league and then moving on up to the American or wherever the hell they're going.
Well, you get to experience such great teams as Louisiana Tech, so you get to see Louisiana, but you get to see there. You get to see Louisiana
in the Conference USA basketball tournament.
Texas El Paso,
right? UTEP, yeah.
Okay, we all know they've got good basketball history.
Yes.
Missouri State, you see Missouri State.
Wow, so you're going all the way to Missouri.
So now you've gone to Louisiana.
Yeah.
Texas, you've gone to Texas. Now you get to go to Missouri.
Right.
Sam Houston.
Yeah, I've seen Sam.
So then you get to go to. Well, it has UAB listed in there, but UAB is not.
No, they didn't move
down. They're
in
the
American. They're the American Athletic,
yeah. Western Kentucky.
Yeah.
Jack State, Kennesaw State.
Yeah.
Middle Tennessee, Florida International.
Yeah.
New Mexico State, Liberty,
all the way to New Mexico, Liberty.
Delaware,
Delaware,
Florida Atlantic, and Florida International. So you get to go to Florida, Delaware.
What a crazy road trip. We're going to Delaware.
Where?
Yeah. And then and I knew about the New Mexico State Aggies,
Right.
But yeah, I mean it's from anywhere and everywhere, man. So
Isn't that crazy?
That it stretches from one coast to the other is basically your well, I mean, I will say this, they don't have anybody in the West Coast yet.
Not yet.
In Conference USA. I mean, it may and then I will say and in the Sun Belt, I think that's where Texas State was. They lost to Troy the other day. And Troy sent an emoji shaking hands saying, "Good luck in the Pac-12." Pac-12 for Texas State. What kind of sense does that make?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you this. You're going to want to stick around for another hour and 51 minutes because it's going to be a hell of a show. Yeah. You've brought a 2-liter with you.
Yeah, I had to this morning. Needed a little pick-me-up here.
That is a sign that you're going to want to listen to the entire show.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a busy day today. We're going to, after we wrap it up here, we're going to go honor James Clemens as our Bryant Bank Team of the Week, which we did yesterday with Coach Juan Johnson.
Yeah.
What a pleasure it was to have Brewer Hicklin in studio talking about his camp. I was talking about it with some folks over at Huntsville High yesterday. Went over there. We had pictures for basketball and they're doing some baseball workouts over there too. So
they've been doing some on the turf.
Yeah. And the turf looks great.
Yeah, I saw the football team getting some work in the other day on the turf out there as well.
Because if you have wet conditions or if you need to work on the turf, you can. And don't forget they have turf at Milton Frank, so it kind of gives you a good barometer of what you need to do. And speaking of that, we'll be talking high school football tomorrow, and huge game, Huntsville and Florence in 7A Region 4, and another huge one with James Clemens we talked about. They're traveling to Austin. Those are probably the two biggest in the region, but still a lot going on. And so a lot at stake. And so I know on your high school football scoreboard, Joe, presented by Lake Gunnersville Ace Hardware and Woody Anderson Ford, you'll be talking about a lot of those games. And so that'll be a big topic of conversation. A big one, the Buckhorn Bucks, they're hosting Mae Jemison.
Yeah,
one of our Huntsville City schools, and there's a lot of playoff implication.
That weather starts to turn just a little bit.
Yeah,
games start to amp up just a little bit. We're getting there.
And at Tommy Ledbetter Stadium, they still play on grass, which is immaculately kept, but
only for about another year, right? Because
I understand
all the county schools are going.
Yeah.
I believe New Hope, Buckhorn, Madison County. They're all in line. I think they're going to do them all at the same time, is what we've been told. That they're all going to be going to turf field. Yeah, they're all going to get turf there on the county level. All right, let's get out to Bama Bino real fast.
What's up, Bama Bino? Good to hear from you, brother.
Yeah, guys, great show.
Yes, sir.
I called about a comment about Alabama, but since you gave me an inroad, I'll go ahead and comment on Delaware. It's a good thing Jacksonville didn't play up there. The good thing they played at Paul Snow Stadium, because they might have seen Joe Biden napping and on the beach naked, like
Lord, I don't
he did
want
the
to
whole 4 years.
Oh,
That's where he lived, Rollabeth Beach.
Yeah,
But
there
anyway.
you go.
well, the Delaware, the stadium in South Delaware, I guess the university is in Newark, Delaware.
I've heard of Newark, New Jersey. I it was in Newark, Delaware.
Small state, but anyway, I called about fundamentals, and I always harp on that, but my goodness, what I'm talking about is, this will work between Pee Wees and Pro Ball. I reckon coaches have quit watching films and teaching fundamentals. Alabama could get off the field on third down at least 3 times and shave the points 10 at least. A touchdown, the field goal off. If when we blitz, we go in there with our pants on fire. We execute. We get to the quarterback. We got them 7 yards deep on a loss.
Yes, sir.
And we don't break down and make the man commit. We overrun the play. Mm-hmm. We could get off the field quicker and rest our defense and get Tyler back in command if we would break down, make the man commit, left or right, and come in under control once we see we've got him pinned. But we overrun the play and they get the first down, and it's another set of downs. And I really wish we would quit worrying about all this fancy stuff and just teach fundamentals. We've got the athletes there if they just do fundamentals.
Yes, sir.
And a lot of times I don't understand Grubbs throwing these. We need a first down. It's 3rd and 8.
Mm-hmm.
And he throws a screen on the short side of the field. He loves the short side of the field, the weak side. It can't develop. The play is thrown right at the sideline, almost hits the head coach in the head. And you blockers, the sideline's a blocker, but all of the other linebackers pursue, and they've got him dead right after he catches the ball. Why throw a screen on the sideline when it's only 30 feet wide to the sideline? Throw it on the wide side every now and then and let you speed. I mean, we're not using common sense. I mean,
Ty Simpson's been completing, Drew, he's completed 70% of his passes so far this season, 134 of 189. Bama Bino saying right now that they love that short side. They love the little screen stuff. Is that why his completion percentage is 70%?
They throw deep.
No,
they throw down the field vertically as well. But
I know that's not your point, Bama Bino. I'm just saying, his percentage is good.
Right.
His percentage is good because he's accurate.
Yeah.
And it would be a lot higher if we hadn't had some drops right in the numbers.
Florida State, too. Yep, in that game, especially.
Yeah, I mean, right in the hands, right in the throat. I mean, they just can't. Some of them he throws the ball hard, but sometimes you have to keep from getting it intercepted.
Yeah.
That's the only hole there. But I'm just, no, Tyler is that's not the problem. He is doing what he's supposed to be doing, and I am proud to have him. And I'm thankful that he stuck around and was loyal. I just like to see us, even if we do what the play's designed, it's only going to gain 2 or 3 yards. You need 8. Get it out wide where we can get out in the open field.
Yeah.
Because all they got to do is stack the box and kind of string the play out like the old defensive ends used to do, string the play out, and you've got the sideline for a tackle. You know, I mean, it's I'd like to see us get off the field on 3rd down when we blitz, and I love it when we blitz. But when you got somebody 8 yards deep for a loss, break down and make him go left or right and commit and be under control once you see you got him pinned, instead of letting him slip away and overrun the play.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
And, but anyway, I'm looking forward to the game, and I love listening to you guys, and God bless you.
All right, thank you, Bama Bino. All right, lots to unpack there, and we will. Let's do that, but let's get a break in. Because when we get back, we'll get back out to the phone lines.
Yep.
7:17 here on a Thursday morning. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey, Wes. Our company, Fleming Roofing and Restoration, specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a 5th-generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your shingles. We can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it, or we can replace it.
But you guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10-plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey, Wes, we show up.
Organizations using Salesforce know how powerful the platform is and how much time, money, and headaches it saves if it's set up right and you know how to use it. Let's face it, Salesforce is complicated and time-consuming to figure out, and a lot can go wrong now and down the road without expert help. That's why most Salesforce users work with an implementation partner like Higher Echelon, so they get the absolute most out of their Salesforce investment. Higher Echelon is a 5-star Salesforce consulting partner who won Salesforce Military Hiring Partner of the Year. President Dr. Joe Ross is retired Army who played and later coached for the cadets. He puts that experience to good use at Higher Echelon, where they pride themselves on hiring veterans. Look, not all Salesforce partners are the same. Don't put your company at risk by going with an inferior partner. Higher Echelon is the trusted partner you can count on to get you up and running and seeing returns on your Salesforce investment in a fraction of the time it would take if you go it alone. Go to higherechelon.com. That's HIGHERECHELON.com to learn more. Go higher and go Army.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
Isn't the story of the prodigal son an amazing story? Basically, a rowdy boy who literally wished his father dead, ran away, and consumed his wealth with hard and fast living. Yet the father looked for his return every day, and when the boy got tired of eating pig slop, he decided to return. What did the father do? As soon as he saw that boy, he ran to him, threw his arms around him, and killed the fatted calf for a great celebration. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of the Cross Point Church. If you're looking for a church home, come see us, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison.
This will turn journalism on its ear.
Watch our stream on WZZN TV on Twitch and YouTube.
But you are the greatest hero in American history.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
So
7:21 on a Thursday morning. 256-576-4977. The number to the phone lines. We've got to get Richard in real fast. Good morning, Richard.
Morning, Richard.
Hey, morning, guys. Drew, you may have watched it, but I think the exhibition games are on the YouTube channel for Hibbett.
They are. I didn't watch the Auburn game last night. I was working on some stuff, and honestly, I was on the drive last night, and then I got home and had to pick up some dinner as well. And then I was, kind of preparing for our show today, and I wasn't watching it, but I was following it. And but I did watch some of the second half a couple of days ago of
I watched a little bit of that one.
Again, dang it, Stanford and Alabama.
Stanford and A&M.
So,
I guess Alabama women and East Austin will be on at noon. I would assume it'll be on.
Yeah, I think
that
all
one,
the
and
games
then the one
have
tonight will be on, like I said, the Hibbett YouTube channel. If anybody wants to watch. Out, you were talking about the guy transferring from Green Bay. I guess Doug Gottlieb, former announcer, ran him off then.
I imagine
they had
NIL.
I think.
Yeah, remember, I think Doug Gottlieb. I mean, what's the losing streak up there? I mean, it's
bad.
Yeah.
I probably didn't pay him enough cheese curds.
So I was going to say, because I knew he had a pretty bad season last year. Might not have taken any NIL to get away from that. So
right.
Last year.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be like, maybe you guys can, maybe we'll get you guys hired somewhere.
Well, we were trying to get Brewer to hire us to MC his camp, but he's got a lot of people on his payroll, including our good friend David Sharp, who does a great job.
I was like, man, he's done this camp now 9 years, and But anyway, that's okay.
We were wanting Scott to be to do his Bob Uecker.
Sit up in the cheap seats.
One thing on this arena they're playing at Boutwell, they've redone it.
Yeah.
But about the only sporting events they used to hold there were professional wrestling. Cause I grew up in Birmingham, and that's about the only thing they had there.
Right.
In the 60s and 70s was wrestling.
Oh, okay.
So they had a few concerts, and like I said, wrestling every Monday night at Boutwell Auditorium. So not many basketball games, although now it's it's designed. I went down and heard Charles Barkley and Coach Oates and Coach Pearl and Damon Fishback speak on Tuesday night there.
Yeah, I went to the SEC tip-off coverage, but that was later on in the day, that evening when they did I guess it was kind of a State of the Union.
Yeah, well, and last night, obviously Bruce Pearl sitting courtside, but our good friend from ESPN, who's joined the show a couple times,
Seth Greenberg.
Seth Greenberg was sitting right there next to him, taking notes and watching the game a little bit last night with him.
Seth was down there for both days.
I went to the exhibition NBA game on Tuesday.
Oh yeah,
and I thought I saw
Pelicans
Seth Greenberg there, so he may have been there.
I'm sure he was. Yeah, no doubt.
But I guess right now for New Orleans, Herb is starting at point guard, and J.D. Davidson came in the fourth quarter, so I guess he's kind of third team.
Now, is J.D.? I thought he was with the Rockets. Is he with the Rockets? Or
he is with the Rockets. Yeah, he is with the Rockets, but he didn't come in until Reed Sheppard, because Fred Van Fleet
that's
got some injury and out for the year.
Right.
And I guess Reed Sheppard's running like second team kind of point guard. So I guess, JD's kind of the third team, guy out there. And like I said, as the fourth quarter started, they brought him in and we stayed a few minutes and had to hit the road.
So
out. But
are you going to be in
like
Boutwell
Herb
tonight?
Kind of starting at point guard for New Orleans now.
Yeah, I mean, Herb can handle the basketball. He makes good decisions. He can guard, 1 through 4. I mean, he'd have trouble guarding centers, but he can even guard most power forwards in my mind.
Oh, yeah.
So he's one of the best defenders in the game.
Yeah, because Kevin Durant was there and he covered Kevin Durant.
He did.
He plays for Houston now.
Yeah, because I saw some of the guys that were there. I mean, I think Coleman and Coach Stu Studeman's team was there, and there was a big crowd. It looked like a good crowd. A lot of people supporting Herb.
Yeah, it was probably half full. The upper deck didn't have a lot. The lower level was packed though.
Right. Yeah. That's and a lot of star power. And so, are you going to the game tonight?
I will be there tonight. So
okay, yeah, I'll be there.
Going down tonight. So because I think Alabama and Auburn, both their teams were there. At the game.
They were.
So
Yep. So,
because Jabari Smith is with Houston, so well represented Alabama and Auburn in that exhibition game.
Yep.
So,
see you guys later.
Thanks, Richard. Just a short time here before we get our next break in. We're going to flip our attention to SEC football. By the way, I saw this. It is not related, but it's laughable. Sam Houston did host UTEP last night.
Yeah.
The announced crowd at the game was 647.
Hold on. Whoa. At a football game?
Football game.
They actually announced it.
647, yes.
What lackey had to go through the stands and count that?
I've seen pictures of the stadium. I've seen pictures of everything. And yes, there was 647.
I guess the NIL's not at the top of the ladder there.
No. Anyway, but we've got some really good.
You said once again, it was UTEP and
Sam Houston. Sam Houston is winless. They're a bad football team.
Yeah.
Nobody is coming out to watch them play.
They made the transition recently. They left the FCS, which was probably a mistake, but they're trying to move up. And don't forget UTEP at one time, Pappy. That's where he ended up with. He got glasses and everything after he met his destiny.
Anyway, coming up on Saturday, 108th meeting, Alabama, Tennessee. Rivalry game, Bryant-Denny Stadium, Saban Field. Alabama, by the way, owns the all-time advantage. 60-39-8 is the total. 32-17-7 as the home team, and 12-4 in Tuscaloosa. Alabama, by the way, in case you're keeping track, they've won 10 straight at home against the Vols. The last loss coming in 2003. There you go. Just some historical numbers.
The 1st and 2 game, and then 4th and 19. Disgusting. Okay.
All right. Well,
Comets had no, it was as big a win, and probably they were as ecstatic to win that game as they were heartbroken to lose to Georgia this year. It was the Georgia version of surviving against Tennessee on the road. That was the Vols, way of surviving against Alabama.
Okay.
Luckily, Alabama the next year, 2 years later, pardon me, with the Jamie Christensen 6-3 game, was able to survive, and that's kind of what started the home field winning streak, and hopefully it will continue Saturday.
In case you are wearing the orange this morning, Tennessee has scored over 30 points in its first 6 games for the second time in program history, joining the 2022 squad. The Vols lead the nation in scoring at over 48 points per game. Something to keep an eye on. Travis Reier is on the other side of the break. We'll get his thoughts on this matchup, plus others in the SEC, coming up next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
And down the stretch we go. Welcome to Week 8 of our high school streaming network. A full slate of games, including Buckhorn taking on Mae Jemison. That'll be over the airwaves of 97.7 ESPN The Zone. The Mustang Zone has Madison Academy at JP2 at Joe Davis Stadium. Randolph is at Madison County. Sparkman plays host to Grissom, while Westminster Christian Academy is at North Jackson. Be sure and download our app and listen to all of our games all season long.
I'm here with Stan McDonald of Jacob Title. Stan, I've heard that every real estate closing at Jacob Title is a very big deal. Why is that?
Wes, I'm reminded of a very impactful statement that I heard from Coach Gene Stallings years ago when he talked about big games and little games. He said he didn't like that comparison. He says, because try losing one of those little games. And if you ever do, it ends up being the biggest game all year long. Well, it's the same thing with real estate closings. Every game, every closing is a very big deal at Jacob Title. Because when it's your closing and your contract on the line, it's a very big deal. And we understand that at Jacob Title.
So it sounds like whether your client is a first-time residential buyer or a multi-million-dollar investor, they can expect your A game.
That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, when you bring your real estate closing to us at Jacob Title, we understand it's all about trust and confidence. And when Stan McDonald tells you that a chicken dips snuff, you can look under his wing for the box.
And like Beebs likes to say, there's no doubt about it.
You'll love the expanded wine selection at Liquor Express. From special occasion to everyday table wines, they've got what you need. Meet your friends at the largest tap wall in Alabama with 105 rotating selections. Then take home a growler full of your favorite or choose from our 1,000 canned or bottled beers. Need help stocking your bar or planning your party? Liquor Express has a knowledgeable, professional in-house staff that can assist you with anything from your bar to the planning of your special event. Visit liquorexpress.net for tasting specials, giveaways, and classes.
The AVCA Beach Volleyball Pairs National Championships are back in Huntsville this November. 64 of the nation's top pairs in collegiate beach volleyball are hitting the sand in a weekend packed with big serves, wild rallies, and high-flying action. It's fast, it's fun, and best of all, it's free. You don't want to miss the excitement live, so grab your sunglasses, rally your crew, and join us at John Hunt Park Sand Volleyball Courts from November 7th to the 9th.
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com.
Talking Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Weekday mornings beginning at 7 a.m. only on 97.7 ESPN and the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app.
Tennessee heads to Tuscaloosa. Winners last year, 24-17 in the series. By the way, this is the 108th meeting. And just to tell you, a lot of these games have been played in Birmingham. This is only the 17th meeting of Tennessee and Alabama in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, because a lot of them are in Birmingham.
Yep. So this is only the 17th meeting.
Yeah. No doubt. And we're going to discuss that with our next guest. You can see him every week. Reier on YouTube. He does daily shows throughout the week on college football, especially second helping with our good friend Brent Beard and Talkin Tide with Chase Goodbread. But he covers college football in the SEC as well as anyone. And we always enjoy our chats each week. And Travis has been kind enough to join us this Thursday morning. Travis, how are you, sir?
I'm great. How are you guys?
We're doing well. And your thoughts, because, I mean, it's hard to believe it's been, 22 years since that game in 2003. I'm still not over that one, by the way. But still, the last Tennessee win in Tuscaloosa, that I guess it was 4 overtimes against the Vols when they come back to beat the University of Alabama in Mike Shula's first season. But what are your initial impressions and thoughts on this one? This looks like to me it could be a high-scoring contest. Tennessee, one of the best offenses in college football. Alabama's been very good, but your initial impressions?
Yeah, it seems like Vegas is anticipating a bit of a shootout, I guess. Tennessee's going to go fast. We know that.
Yeah,
I think that increases the potential for a high-scoring game. Alabama picks its spots with tempo. So that's the first thing I kind of look at when I see totals that are 60-ish or so.
Right.
So it could play out that way. But, last year it wasn't exactly a shootout in Knoxville. I thought Alabama defensively for that first half did everything it could to give Alabama an opportunity to really take control of that game. Offensively, Alabama wasn't able to do that. Credit to the Tennessee defense from a year ago for a lot of that. So we'll see. It feels like in a lot of ways, just two entirely different teams in a lot of ways. The quarterback position, certainly that's the case. Joey Aguilar has stepped in there and been very good in a lot of scenarios for this offense. But, ultimately for Alabama defensively, it's going to still start with the Tennessee run game. Because if Tennessee is able to continue this trend that we've seen of explosiveness on the ground against this defense, that could be problematic. I know Deshaun Bishop went down with a bit of an injury, the Tennessee running back last week.
Right.
Initially, that didn't look good at all, but he's listed as probable for this week, so you fully anticipate him being able to go. And then from an injury perspective for Alabama, I thought it was a bit of potential good news yesterday when we heard that Jam Miller was progressing nicely through the concussion protocol, the Alabama running back, but you still don't know what exactly his availability during the practice week has been or will be. So that'll be a big pregame sort of storyline for the Alabama offense. And should be a fun matchup. Absolutely. I think it's going to be entertaining. And I think between the Tennessee run game and its mix and Alabama's ability to make plays and big plays throwing the football, could be fireworks for sure.
This Tennessee team to me is very polarizing. It's very interesting to look at because if you get caught up in the numbers, it can be even more interesting because I've never seen a team be as explosive on offense and can lead the nation in points scored, but then on the flip side, be right there in giving up points on the defensive side like they do, but still find a way to get it done.
They have, other than that Georgia overtime loss, which they're probably still kicking themselves about.
Yeah.
They've absolutely done that. On the flip side, I think Mississippi State's still kicking itself after kind of letting Tennessee off the hook in Starkville a couple weeks ago. So, we haven't really seen Tennessee away from Knoxville all that much to this point. I know they had the neutral site game to open the season. And again, went to Mississippi State, really fortunate to get out of there with a W. But scoring the ball with those receivers too. I mean, Brazil, Staley, Matthews, they've got balance across the skill positions. Miles Kitselman at the tight end position, previously of Alabama, has been a really nice pickup for them the last couple of years. So, you talk about Tennessee defensively. I think they're going to be a good bit of zone. I think they're going to probably play it a little bit different than some of the earlier opponents that Alabama saw, maybe more along the lines. Missouri played zone last week, but they still made sure to get numbers in the box and then bring pressure as well. I think Tennessee likes to do that. They'll simulate some pressures. So if Jam Miller isn't available, pass protection, even against four-man pressures, can become more problematic because you got to know where it's coming from. You got to identify where it's coming from, and then you got to execute against it.
Yeah, you really do. And then, and speaking of executing, we've seen Ty Simpson do it at a very high level. Just to review the Missouri game really quickly, Travis, a tough football game. I think we were anticipating that. It wasn't Ty's best game, but you're very familiar with the NFL as well, being down there in Jacksonville, and your brother working for the Jaguars, and you've been very close to the National Football League, and your daughter has worked in the NFL as well at times. So, but I'll just say this: I mean, to me, a quarterback, and sometimes it's not. You're not going to have your A game all the time, but Ty Simpson when he had to, he made big plays that decided the game.
He did. And, he did turn the football over once on the sack. He got some pressure there early in the third quarter. Jam didn't do a great job in the pickup there, but you still got to take care of the ball.
Right.
And it wasn't a blindside situation. He was able to sort of have a little bit of time to protect himself and the ball. And I know he would tell you that, but he still had the kind of game that you can win with. The guy on the other side, Bo Perbula, wasn't awful either, but, had a couple of turnovers and, one or two turnovers in margin can be the difference in games like this. So it sounds like Ty was very much had his leader hat on earlier in the week based on some of the comments from Caden Proctor and some of the other guys in terms of, Ty's holding that entire unit and that team, I think, to that standard that, quite frankly, wasn't adhered to enough a year ago. So it sounds like intangibly you're getting what you need from this guy too. He's been obviously very productive. He's overseen an offense that's very explosive at times, but also what he's bringing to that from an intangibles perspective, you like to hear.
Travis Reier, kind enough to join us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, talking SEC football. We've talked Alabama and some Tennessee. And Travis, you're in that Florida area, and it's news that kind of surfaced yesterday that Florida athletic directors and brass all met behind closed doors yesterday. And it does appear that Billy Napier's time with Florida we're down to hours as far as Billy Napier goes as head football coach of the Gators.
Yeah, the win over Texas a couple Saturdays ago was like the defibrillator treatment. He got the paddles.
Yeah.
Right.
And they were able to get him back for a minute. But then, then you go on the road against Texas A&M and lose by 17. So it wasn't sort of that resurgence like a year ago that you were anticipating. And now the Gators get Mississippi State at home. And maybe the difference between Billy Napier finishing the season and there being a change as soon as next week is this game. Because Mississippi State hasn't won an SEC game in a couple of years?
That's true.
So, I don't think I can't envision a scenario where he can lose at home to Mississippi State, who is improved. I don't think there's any doubt about that, and still coach against Georgia in a couple Saturdays because they go into a bye week after this. And also a Mississippi State team, by the way, without Bluff Bothwell, it's standout running back. Now, the problem for Florida is they're also down some guys. Now, their injury report is not good, just in terms of guys that we know who are out. DB Aaron Gates, out. Edge, LJ McCray, out. Caleb Banks, defensive lineman, out. And then you've got another 5 or 6 real contributors that are questionable at best going into this game. So still plenty enough personnel-wise for Florida to win this game against Mississippi State on Saturday, but you wonder about what's really in the tank and how much the noise, if at all, has permeated that building and maybe impacted the guys that are really going to control the fate of Billy Napier.
And then maybe the biggest game in the SEC this weekend, Travis. I know Alabama and Tennessee fans are fixated on the third Saturday in October, but undefeated Rebels of Ole Miss against those tough SOBs from Georgia.
Yeah, they are. What a wild Saturday night on the Plains. I'm sure you guys haven't talked about that one this week at all. You know,
not much.
Smidge.
Yeah, a little.
Yeah, whatever the case, man. We talked about it before, even coming out of the Tennessee win for Georgia. That's a culture win. You know, that's what that is. When teams are able to kind of overcome what Georgia overcame, and yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. It was a dumpster fire for the SEC from an officiating and a reviews perspective. Not even just so much the results of the call, but the processes that we went through, down in and down out. I didn't think that game was going to get over until 4 a.m.
It took
Sunday.
It took 29 minutes of normal time to play the final 2 minutes of the first half.
Yeah, I didn't think we were getting done before midnight Central without overtime, and it was ugly on a number of levels for the SEC. But Georgia does what Georgia does and gets out of there with a W. Ole Miss is very interesting too. We talk about teams that we really haven't seen away from their home venue all that much.
Right.
I guess we saw Ole Miss at Kentucky. That feels like 3 years ago that game was played. So we'll see. I mean, I'm very fascinated to see Trinidad Chambliss.
Yes.
It sounds like Austin Simmons is healthier than he's been. The quarterback position, Georgia still has some health issues. Sounds like two of their top three offensive tackles anyway, Ernest Green, Juan Gaston, are probable this week. So that's a good thing for the Bulldogs because, I think their problems have been kind of similar to what they were a year ago. And it started up front with that offensive line. And, it's hard not to like Georgia in this scenario. And this is another one of those Kirby, Nick Saban type of things where you wonder, can a team get Kirby Smart 2 years in a row? Like was the case with Nick when he was at Alabama. So I tend to lean Georgia here. But it should be a great game. Great game Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, and Kalen DeBoer's gotten Kirby twice in a row, but this would be the biggest win for Lane Kiffin, no question about it, and probably validate them in some ways. I know there's some people doubting them, even though they did vanquish LSU earlier in the season, and that seems like 2 months ago. No question about it. But Travis, also on the other side of the coin, we just talked about Billy Napier in very likely must-win mode. This feels like that for Auburn against Missouri.
It does. And, for Missouri, the bounce back will be very interesting to watch, right?
Mm-hmm.
How does Auburn sort of deal with this continuing crisis of close games right there on the edge, but not able to get over the hump under Hugh Freeze? So, Missouri, I think what I saw last week and had seen in previous weeks, it was really a validation Saturday for Missouri with Alabama in town. Didn't exactly pass that test, but I think you saw that is still a very capable team. My concern for Missouri going into this game is Bo Perbula on the road.
Yeah.
What do we really know about this guy? This is Missouri's first game away from Columbia, I think, this entire season.
It is. That's right.
It's going to be October the 18th, and we haven't seen Missouri anywhere other than Como. And what we know about Bo Perbula prior to the season was he was a backup quarterback at Penn State. So, I think for that to matter, Auburn early in the game is going to have to give that fan base and that atmosphere a reason to maintain or reach electricity level. And if they do, then I think Auburn's going to be right back in that spot of having a great chance in the second half and in the fourth quarter, because I don't see Ahmad Hardy and Jamal Roberts just, lining up and running for a combined 200 yards against this Auburn defense. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Prebula is going to have to be a real factor in this, and he's going to have to be better from the pocket than he was against Alabama. And so he can be a difference maker with his legs on occasion. But, the thing too, Missouri, I think defensively welcomes the physicality, and they will hit you, as Alabama found out with a couple of guys on the injury report this week. So I think this is going to be a really physical game, and a couple quarterbacks that you're still wondering between Jackson Arnold and Bo Prebula, if they have to make plays in the passing game to win, can either of them do it?
Mm-hmm. And then finally, a very interesting game Scott and I kind of touched on earlier in the show, but Vanderbilt, a favorite over LSU.
Wow. Yeah, you don't. That's just weird coming out, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think this is a good matchup for LSU. Because I think LSU can hurt Vanderbilt defensively in ways that Alabama did it.
Right.
A couple weeks ago with Garrett Nussmeier, and sounds like Aaron Anderson, who is very key to that LSU offense, is going to be able to go this week. I know Whit Weeks defensively, big part of things for Blake Baker, is listed as questionable. But I also think that LSU defense can really limit Vanderbilt in a lot of ways. So this could be a game where you're healthier at the running back position too, with Caden Durham if you're LSU. I know we've never really had to ask this question about these two teams, but I just wonder more about LSU up front offensively and how it's going to hold up against that Vanderbilt front seven. Again, that sort of bizarre world sort of line of thinking there compared to the past. But yeah, it all sounds good for Vanderbilt, but I think just in terms of matchups, this is a pretty good matchup for LSU.
Great stuff.
Yep.
Reier on YouTube. Travis, we always appreciate the insight and your time. Let everybody know to connect with you.
Yeah, we're right there on YouTube. It's Reier on YouTube is our channel. We talk SEC. We talk Alabama. We talk some NFL as well. Reier on YouTube.
Thank you,
Thanks, Travis.
Thanks, guys.
All right, let's get a break in. Going to wrap up hour one coming up next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Your customers deserve the best, and so do you. You invest in your customers with your heart, soul, and skill. Well, it's time to invest in yourself with the next generation Cat 255 compact track loader from Thompson Tractor. After all, those who give their best deserve the best, and this machine has it all. With features that include a more powerful engine, tri-axle truck loading capabilities, a spacious cab, and a smooth ride for all-day comfort. Best of all, now Thompson Tractor is making that investment even better with our workhorse special. Get 0% financing for 36 months on the purchase of a new Cat 255 compact track loader that comes with a 3-year warranty. You also get a 74-inch bucket and 1,000-hour filter kit. Due to popular demand, this offer is extended through September 30th. Visit ThompsonTractor.com for details. Thompson Tractor, we're here for you.
At Stella at 5 Points, living isn't just about having an apartment, it's about living artfully. Imagine waking up with the upscale feel of Atlanta or Nashville right here in the heart of Huntsville. Modern, stylish apartments, open layouts, stainless steel appliances, and resort-inspired amenities. Nestled in vibrant 5 Points, you'll enjoy walkability, parks, dining, and quick access to downtown without the chaos. Stella at 5 Points. Live artfully. Live Stella.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com.
Oh, yeah.
7:54.
Nothing like some ATDs.
Thursday morning, Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond. Light night as far as high school football goes in the area tonight.
Right.
Just one game if you want to drive around and find some high school football. Just one game in there. It's a non-region game. If you want to go out there, the Lexington Bears.
Lexington Golden Bears
are playing host to the Fighting Bob Godseys of Brooks High School. Because remember, Bob Godsey had stops there at Brooks.
Before Hartselle and before Madison Academy.
Yep. So
now Tim Bowens, former Alabama wide receiver at his alma mater at Brooks High School.
Yes. So that's the only game in the area tonight as far as high school football goes. So like I said, very light slate tonight for high school football. Everybody going under the lights tomorrow night.
Yep. And because we had 3 games on our streaming network on Thursday last week,
coming
off a fall break,
in our
area.
Now and look for that to be similar next week. Halloween. Well, 2 weeks, I should say. In 2 weeks.
That's the end of the regular season. Most games will be played on the 30th on Thursday, but
some move, some don't.
There'll be a couple on our network on Halloween.
Yep. So anyway, Major League Baseball from yesterday, one game.
The Blue Jays were pissed.
They hit 5 home runs last night. 5 home runs. They get it done over the Mariners, 13-4.
They're great people. They put the Yankees out.
Yes. Yes. It doesn't matter what happens. They will have that for a while. Right. But Seattle does lead that best-of-7 series 2-1. And then tonight you get NLCS Game 3. Dodgers lead that series 2-0, 5:08 first pitch there. And then 7:33 for Game 4 of the ALCS. Blue Jays at the Mariners, Game 4. So you do have Major League Baseball night. And by the way, Max Scherzer, still playing, gets the start for Toronto.
I thought he retired. I'm not going to lie. I thought Max was done.
Old Max is not done. He's still hurling it for the Blue Jays.
Missouri Tigers, old Max Scherzer had a farm. E-I-E-I-O.
You know, it's kind of funny. I just realized that. Yeah. Remember, Eli Drinkwitz was on the staff for Auburn when they won the 2010 national championship.
That's right.
Then he was on the staff with Brian Harsin at Boise State. Was on the staff with Brian Harsin at Boise State. Now he's making his visit back, I believe. Is this his first time back in Jordan-Hare Stadium since then?
I'd have to
go back and look, but something feels like, because I don't think he's been.
Well, I mean, he was his first year as a head coach was at Appalachian State. That was only 1 year,
right? And they didn't come to Auburn then.
He went 13-1 and then went to Missouri.
I'd have to. I think I'll research it in a minute, but I think this is Eli Drinkwitz's first trip back to Auburn since being on the staff. 6:45 kickoff. Missouri a 1.5 favorite now. Hour 2 next.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Drivers who switch to Progressive have an annual savings of nearly $750. Progressive.com.
Atlanta Falcons, a 2.5-point underdog of the San Francisco 49ers on Sunday Night Football at Levi's Stadium, where the total is 47.5. Tonight, the Steelers laying 5.5 at the Cincinnati Bengals, 44.5 the total. The Bengals have dropped 9 straight games as an underdog. Last night in college football, Jacksonville State 38-25 over Delaware. The Gamecocks win by 13 as a 3-point home underdog. Coming up Saturday at Bryant-Denny Stadium, Alabama laying 8.5 against Tennessee. Missouri a 1.5 favorite at Auburn. Memphis a 21.5-point road favorite at UAB, 63.5 the total. For more, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
This hour brought to you by SportsMed Orthopedic and Spine Center. Online at sportsmedalabama.com. Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
Hour 2 is upon us. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. SportsMed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center, dedicated to providing care that improves lives. 256-881-5151. If you want to experience the SportsMed difference, give them a call. Missouri's last trip, by the way, to Auburn was in 2022. That was that overtime loss.
That's what I thought. That was Eli was there. It was very early in his tenure.
Yes.
But it was a heartbreak for Missouri, and Auburn pulled that. That was one of the few nice wins for Brian Harsin at Auburn. But see, like you said, it was not under Hugh Freeze. He has not faced Missouri at home. But Coach Drink, this will be his second trip
back since being a part of the Auburn staff. Okay. Anyway,
yep. It was a heck of a game. It was a lot of twists and turns, man.
We can stay, I guess, in that realm. Our next guest probably has a lot to say about Georgia's last trip to Auburn last Saturday, plus plenty to talk about in Alabama, Tennessee coming up this Saturday, and Georgia and Ole Miss as well.
A lot of it. He's a big fan of Trinidad Chambliss like myself. He, of course, knew about him torching Valdosta State before I ever did, because what's he do? He's the film guy. He grinds the tape.
Anytime you can torch Valdosta is a good thing in anything.
I think he was we're talking about the film guy, Brooks Austin, one of the busiest men in all of college football media, and he's carved out some time once again for us. Good morning, sir.
Oh, he's coming on. He's got to get this fancy setup that we have.
Yeah.
You've got to get it.
His setup is first rate. I was watching his live show last night in the comments, and I enjoy the banter with him and his crew. It's good stuff, man. And I was watching it. Just they were kind of talking about Ole Miss, Georgia, and what they needed to do to win the game. And they were talking about Trinidad Chambliss and his journey to Ole Miss, which has been a very interesting one to say the least. And how good a runner he is. he's basically, as Brooks said last night, he is a running back who can spin it. And he really is. He's really good.
Before Brooks joins us real fast, Texas and Kentucky play this weekend.
Right.
I know we've not mentioned this one at all. It's a night game. Texas is a 12.5-point favorite.
It's basketball season in Kentucky, man.
It is. It is. But Texas looked really good against Oklahoma on Saturday.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of that was John Mateer, I think, being rusty and his inability to throw the football consistently. We'll get to that one, though. There's a few points I want to get to on the Texas-Kentucky game, but we'll save that. Let's table that for a minute because Brooks is now with us.
Yeah, the film guy is now with us. He's been grinding the tape. I was watching the show last night. Really enjoyed the banter with he and his crew. As he said, Trinidad Chambliss, a running back who can spin it. And this guy is a very unique talent and a big challenge for the Georgia Bulldogs. Brooks, good morning, brother.
900-yard passer, 1,000-yard rusher last year in Division II football.
Really?
You don't rush for 1,000 yards willy-nilly. Like, you don't rush for 1,000 yards in a straight line. Somebody last night was trying to get a comparison, right? In our local hour, a Georgia fan was like, is he like Milroe? I was like, absolutely not. Jalen Milroe was the fastest guy on the field in a straight line. When Jalen Milroe saw a crease, he stuck his foot in the gas. And if any defender arrived in his line to the touchdown, he was more than likely going to get tackled if he couldn't run through an arm tackle or defeat an angle. This kid makes guys miss. This kid delivers blocks. This kid sticks his shoulder down when he's supposed to. This kid's elusive. When he's in open field, yeah, he's electric, but there's a suddency to his game and his ability to carry the football. And you're right. He can spin it. Look, here's my interpretation of, does your coach think you can rip it? Is the ball on the right hash, and are you throwing 12 to 15-yard out routes to the field? If you're doing that, you got a big enough arm to do just about anything, or your coach thinks you do. So, and they do stuff like that, right? They do stuff like, oh, you want to play, quarters? You want to play like hard bail coverage from the corners? Mm-hmm. That's fine. We'll just rip this NFL ball like across the field. It's a 40-yard completion for 12 yards. Yeah. Is that ball that I'm talking about? It's a tough throw.
Why then is there a question of whether? I even saw it come out on Monday. Trinidad Chambliss or Austin Simmons. Why is there a debate then on who gets the starting nod in Ole Miss?
Who's getting the NIL money right now out at Ole Miss?
Oh boy.
There we go. Austin
Simmons. And I think Lane's doing. I'm not saying I'm not reporting anything. I don't know anything about Ole Miss's football program outside of what's on the tape. All right, but if I had a highly touted 4-star quarterback that reclassed into my program, right, is a young football player, left baseball to come finish his football career and really focus on it, and then the Division II transfer that we brought in to be a backup is all of a sudden outplaying him and making us a top 5 football team, I'm damn sure not going to be out here in the media telling everybody that, yeah, we've made the decision. Trinidad's obviously better. You guys see this. No, we'll milk an ankle injury as long as we possibly can, not only for our purposes, but for the kids' future. Like, we don't want to be telling the world that Austin Simmons isn't as good as Trinidad Chambliss. Let's just keep punting the topic. Yeah, he's a little banged up. Yeah, he's got a little ankle. That kind of thing. I think that's much easier than sitting there going, yeah, we're moving with Trinidad going forward. But I think every opponent of Ole Miss on the schedule moving forward is going to be preparing for Trinidad Chambliss.
Well, and talk about the Georgia Bulldogs, not a tougher team in the country. They found a way to come back and score 20 unanswered against Auburn to win that game. I think this is a good matchup for Georgia's offense against this Ole Miss defense. But what does your eyes tell you on the tape?
Yeah, every time I go watch defense, I always want to watch like the first 2 or 3 drives, like really closely. I'll pay attention to adjustments in the second half, but I really pay attention to the opening script from the opponent because I feel, especially like a school like Washington State's going to go into that football game as an offensive staff, and they're going to figure out, how do we manufacture drives? Not how do we score, how do we manufacture drives? What about this defense, when we sit down here and study them, what about this defense do we think we can have efficient success against? And what did they do? They ran the rock at Centurion Perkins. The first 6 run schemes, are, let's find out if that 6'2", 220-pounder can hold up at the point of the attack. The answer was no. They ran the football really, really well to start that football game. And the other thing that they did was they attacked the flats in screen games, right? They were going to say, all right, we might not be able to throw for 400 yards today, but we'll throw for 6 yards a carry, and we'll rush for 3, and now we're converting chains, right? We'll throw for 6 yards a carry in the flat. We'll get the ball to a receiver. We'll make your DB shed blocks and tackle. Honestly, guys, like that being the way that Washington State attacked them, I was telling somebody the other day, I think there's like 275, 300 yards of total offense for Georgia doing that. There's not a better screen in the flat team right now in America than Georgia because Zachariah Branch is the best yards after catch weapon in college football. He's impossible to tackle right now. So that's a major, like looking at it defensively, that's a major concern for me if I'm an Ole Miss fan going into that. It's like, hey, Washington State attacked us and had success doing something that Georgia is miles better than Washington State is at. You see what I'm saying? That would be my biggest concern.
I know we're looking ahead to this Saturday, but I want to look behind us, though, for just a few seconds.
Yeah.
We're talking Georgia. Your thoughts, though, on Auburn's performance and lack of performance, because we saw it both against Georgia on Saturday inside Jordan-Hare Stadium.
Yeah, look, I've kind of always been labeled like this anti-Hugh Freeze guy, like this guy that doesn't like him. And I'm going to be honest, I don't necessarily love everything that he does, but I don't have any disdain for the guy. I don't know the guy. However, that being said, when you come to the microphone and you say, well, hell, man, like we ran the same plays in the second half, we just didn't execute. We ran the same exact plays in the second half. We ran them 3 or 4 or 5 times over, and the 4th or 5th time, we just can't get executes. We just can't execute. Well, buddy, the other defense saw it 4 or 5 times. What the hell are you talking about? The other defense saw it 3 or 4 times. The other defense saw it 4 or 5 times. The other defense has one of the best defensive minds in the history of the program on the headsets. In the history of the sport on the headsets. And you over there wonder why, well, we can't get it executed. No shit. No duh. Sorry. No duh. No duh you can't, man. No duh.
There we go.
Very frank analysis.
It makes me so mad, man. It makes me so mad. It's so disingenuous. It's so I'm not even going to say disrespectful. It's like I had an Auburn beat reporter who shall not be named. I had an Auburn beat reporter text me about this yesterday. He was like, what do you think? And I'm like, well, dude, I think your head coach has been saying the same thing for 3 years now. We just got to execute. We just got to execute. We just got to execute. Who's in charge of the execution 3 years in there, bud?
Very well said.
Very well said.
I said that, I've been preaching to the choir as well. Like, look, I get tired of hearing it from you, Freeze. Also, he doesn't adjust. Georgia adjusted. He harps too much on the officiating. He focuses on the wrong things, and that's why they're not good enough. But I'll just say this. You've seen both. You broke down Missouri. You saw them play Alabama. A couple years ago, they nearly beat Georgia in Como. But I think this is a tough matchup for Auburn. I don't know that I don't like – I think I'm going to pick Missouri in this game because I think Auburn may be ready to let go of the rope.
Yeah, that's the reason I picked Missouri in this football game, but I didn't pick them by a ton. I picked them in classic Missouri fashion. I think this DJ Durkin defense is legit for Auburn. It's just it's a crying shame that their offense on the other side might be liable for a total of 175 total yards of offense on Saturday night. But no, I worry about this one for Missouri because I watched it wasn't even the last 3 plays. It was the second half of that football game against Alabama.
Yeah.
I was very hesitant to even rank Bo Pribula on my quarterback rankings.
Yeah.
And the only reason I even put him in there last week was because Missouri fans were freaking irate. They were giving me so much hell. And the reason I'm not bullish on the kid is because I think he's still very frantic. I think he is very, very scatterbrained. I don't think we're like, for example, when we go through our reads, we are not, hey, 1 to 2 to 3. No, we're doing this. Like, you can see our brain almost be like we don't have our ADD medicine today. It's just like going way too crazy. And you saw it down the stretch. The last 3 plays of that game against Alabama in critical moments, right? 58 seconds left on the clock, ball's at the backside 45. We've got to get 15, 20 yards to get a field goal to send this sucker to overtime. Everything fell apart. His mind, his processes, how he throws the ball, his mechanics, accuracy, decision making, it all fell to hell in like a matter of 5 or 6 snaps. And we going on the road, and we going to play DJ Durkin, and we going to play Auburn's defense right now. That's the only source of life in the program. I don't know. It scares the hell out of me. That being said, I'll take Missouri. But if Bo Pribula throws 3 interceptions, I'm not shocked at all. I'm not shocked at all.
Well, another one that we have our eyes on, and a lot of people do, and that's Alabama, Tennessee, Bryant-Denny Stadium. Alabama comes in 5, and we mentioned that Missouri game. Alabama finding ways now. It may not be pretty all the time, but they're finding ways to get it done. They're playing with intensity. Ty Simpson is showing us a lot in his first year as a starter. This one, I don't know. What do you think?
I worry about Tennessee's defense. I think this football game features 3 of the nation's like best playing units right now. Tennessee's offense, Alabama's defense. Alabama's ability to get off the field on 3rd downs and second halves of the last 2 football games, incredible. It's like we talk a lot about their offense, particularly on my channel, because I love what Ty's doing. Like you're saying, all the high level quarterback play, high level NFL quarterback play that he's playing with right now or playing at right now. But their defense's ability to get off the field has really compounded issues for opposing football teams. So there's that. I worry about Tennessee getting walked on and not being able to get off the field in the red zone, because I was worried about Tennessee playing man-to-man football, but then I watched the Arkansas football game on tape yesterday and did a film study on that. I think they played 1 snap of man-to-man in the whole entire football game. They played every critical down man-to-man against Georgia and got shredded, got their throat slit in the middle of national television right there on Maine. All right? So if they do that against Bama, they'll die. But if they stop or stay in zone coverage and just make them walk the football, they have a chance to at least get up off the field, because in my opinion, if they go 11 plays, right, one of those 11 plays is going to be a run play that, Jackson Moy stops in the backfield, or one of those run plays is going to be a run play that Bryson Eason gets a tackle for loss, or one of those pass plays, Jordan Ross might create a sack, or Joshua Josephs might create a sack. But here's what I'm not hoping on and banking on if I'm Tennessee. That the freshman, Ty Redmond is going to dislodge a football from Jeremy Bernard in one-on-one. Because if I lose that bet, it's 45 yards. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's much better. To me, I think Tennessee's best football players are on the line of scrimmage. They don't need extra help. Everybody else does. So give them all the help in the world and let those 4 downs be your best players and hope that they can win you the football game.
Well, great stuff. Brooks Austin, the film guy. Check out his YouTube channel. Woo. He does a great job breaking down the Georgia Bulldogs, but the entire SEC and college football as a whole. His daily YouTube show and their banter and discussion. If you're a football person, it's must watch.
We got him fired up this morning.
Yeah, we got.
Hey, and here's why. I had an offensive line coach. Shout out to Robbie Ross, and it wasn't his. Everybody's always said this. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Hugh Freeze is absolutely ever-loving medically insane.
Great way to end it. Appreciate your time, man. And we look forward to the coverage of Georgia and Ole Miss. Thank you, sir.
Brooks Austin, kind enough to join us there. Look, Brody was on it this morning.
Yeah.
Brody was on it. He had his hand on the dump button, nailed it perfectly. Mm-hmm. Good job.
Hey,
all right.
He saved me the other day.
Yes, he did. Let's get a break in. Talking Ball 97.7.
Precious stuff.
Yes, we got 5 minutes for you, though. You got 5 minutes for us?
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed cracks in your drywall, chimney, or exterior walls? I hope not, because if you have, they could be indications that you've got a much bigger problem with your foundation. That's where AFS comes in, a groundworks company. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to stabilize your foundation. Schedule your free inspection at afsrepair.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. Flickering lights and hot switches can be annoying, but they can also signal a major problem, or worse, an electrical emergency. So play it safe and leave it to the experts at Mr. Sparky. Trust our team of professional, clean, and friendly electricians. We'll get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in the respective state or county.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com. From heirloom diamonds to contemporary jewels, Loring & Company is the place to find something truly special. Whether shopping for a diamond ring for that once-in-a-lifetime occasion or marking a milestone birthday or personal achievement with a Rolex watch, you'll find just the thing in our edit of the world's most sought-after brands, including David Yurman, Roberto Coin, Marco Bicego, and Fopay. Expect a treasure trove of the world's most unique, even breathtaking earrings, rings, necklaces, and bracelets, making choosing just one piece a challenge in itself. Loring & Company Jewelers on Airport Road.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
In the market for a new or used car? Look no further than Hyundai of Decatur. With a large inventory of new, used, and certified pre-owned Hyundai models, Greenway Hyundai of Decatur is here to service all of your Hyundai needs. Come visit our exceptional service department as well. With state-of-the-art facilities and a caring team of automotive professionals waiting to service your vehicle, make Hyundai of Decatur your #1 choice for all your automotive needs. Give them a call today at 256-274-0279 or visit them online at greenwayhyundaiofdecatur.com.
This is your home for Madison Academy football.
Owens in some trouble, eludes a man, flings it to the far flank. It is caught! Right. It is caught by Kreider!
This is your home for the Mustang Zone. Only on 97.7 ESPN.com and the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app.
All right, what are we doing? What are you getting it in there?
Yeah, something like that.
We're back, by the way.
Yeah,
just be careful.
I didn't mean
to. Are you getting there? We go.
Yeah.
You at least you polished off the 2-liter. I said we'd at 7:00. I said we'd have a great show because you brought in a 2-liter.
Had my snacks and.
You're all good.
Yeah, I had to save some of the Dr. Pepper. When you're eating jalapeno,
you got to bring something.
Yeah.
So that was a great conversation by Brooks Austin.
It was
great conversation.
Great stuff as always.
Yes, and he did shed some light on the fact that doing things over and over again that doesn't work is.
He said, as he succinctly put it, Hugh Freeze is insane.
Yes, those were his words.
Yep.
Anyway, if you missed that one, go back, watch it on YouTube. Great interview, Brooks Austin. Good stuff. So the question, though, that I was wanting to get to, and we saw the reports about Billy Napier coming out last night, that he does appear on borrowed time, like hours of borrowed time. They take on Mississippi State, by the way, Florida, a 9.5-point favorite. There's been a lot of chatter. And you said, well, it's basketball season in Lexington. There's been a lot of chatter about Mark Stoops.
Yeah.
Texas is a 12.5-point favorite. And we've said the quandary that they're in, the fact that his buyout is high. It's all of this stuff there. Yesterday, the AD at Kentucky comes out and says, hey, look, sometimes you're going to win sometimes you're going to lose some are really tough, but he really kind of stands behind Mark Stoops. If Texas comes in there and plays like they did against Oklahoma, plays really good football and dismantles Kentucky, does it change at all? Does the pressure, does the heat, does whatever? Because Mark Stoops right now just appears like he's going to be fine. He's going to be back.
Well, that's today.
Okay.
He goes 3-9 and 4-8, and that could change the conversation quickly and might have a negotiated divorce where Coach Stoops becomes a defensive coordinator somewhere, or maybe another college program.
Right.
Will give him a change of scenery, because don't forget, a few years ago he nearly went to A&M before there was a revolt from some of the A&M folk.
Right.
So
well, that one's on Saturday, 6:00, and I don't know if you also saw this. Speaking of job openings,
yeah,
your good friend, or he's not coming over for dinner anytime soon. Urban Meyer, who is never getting an invite to dinner.
I don't care.
He said, hey, look, Penn State, you need to look at Dan Mullen.
Clown Mullen.
You need to look at Dan Mullen as your next head coach. He threw Dan Mullen's name into the ring as far as people that should be considered for the next head coaching job at Penn State.
I'm going to ask you a question, Scott. Who is Urban Meyer's biggest mentor in coaching and in reality, really?
Biggest mentor?
Yeah, he coached with him on his staff many years. And I believe he was the wide receivers coach in South Bend, Indiana.
I should know this, but I don't.
Lou Holtz.
Okay.
When Lou Holtz was at ESPN, what did he constantly do? Pick every school that he coached at and pick them to win every game.
Okay.
Or talk about Herb and try to get he or Rick Minner or any of his assistant coaches jobs. What is Herb doing?
Picking all of his former assistants and trying to get them jobs.
He's promoting Clown Mullen
to make himself look better.
Yes, because Clown Mullen was his offensive coordinator in the 06 and 08, University of Florida national titles before Clown Mullen went to Mississippi State and had a good run.
Oh, he did.
But then decided that, he needed to coach at Florida and recruit the way he did at Mississippi State, which is, not going to work at that particular institution. And he ran aground.
But now with the transfer portal being the way it is, he can live and die through the portal, sprinkle in a few high school guys, which he was able to do at Florida. Dan Mullen's name is going, because UNLV does not have the money to constantly pay him seven figures. They don't.
But
so his name is going to come up in other vacancies, UCLA, other
12
ones.
years ago, Clown Mullen tried to get the Penn State job.
Right.
He was going to leave Mississippi State for Penn State, but it didn't work out. Clown Mullen also tried to get the Atlanta Falcons job and some NFL jobs and could not.
Would you rather have James Franklin or Dan Mullen?
I'd rather have James Franklin than Clown Mullen.
Really?
At least James Franklin can recruit.
James Franklin?
Clown Mullen is a better coach than James Franklin, X's and O-wise, but he can't recruit.
James Franklin or Hugh Freeze?
I would take James Franklin. But they're really the same person, though.
James Franklin will coach again. That's the only reason why I keep saying his name. He's going to coach again. Someone's going to take him.
They're like two of the brothers Darrell on Newhart. Really, honestly. But, I'll take James Franklin because at least he made the playoff and won a Big Ten championship. But, it's really close.
This is my brother Darrell.
My other brother
Darrell.
And my other brother
And my other brother Darrell. That's a good show.
Yeah. Underrated.
Brody has no idea what we're talking about on that one.
He wasn't even born.
He's looking at us going, No.
You know, he could probably, as resourceful as he is, though, he could probably Google it and find he could find a Newhart like blurb, and he could find probably one of those where he introduces his brother Daryl and his other brother Daryl. But the only problem is I would tell Brody, those brothers Daryl never said a word.
They never did they?
No, they were muted.
Let's see here. My brother.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
And my other brother. Oh, see, let's see if we can. I know we are. We're trying to do. Oh, okay. Here we go. I think. Let's see if this will work here. Bob it's the Newhart show. The Bob Newhart show.
Yeah, it's Bob Newhart.
Bob Newhart.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. This is what.
So how you doing? Okay, except I throwed my back out last week crawling under a house. Sounds like a tough job. Wasn't a job. I just like crawling under houses. Where's the little lady?
Mrs. Newton is down those stairs.
Get started. Honey, do you have any questions for the... Well, you seem real eager to get started. Well, we usually just wait till we get down there to see what's the most fun.
Anyway, it's in that. It's supposed to be in there, but we can't find. Anyway, but it's good. We got to get a break in.
Hey, man, it's live radio.
It is. Vince Ferrara is on the other side.
I mean, who else replays Bob Newhart?
Nobody else does.
Yeah.
And the Bob Newhart show is great. One of these days we'll get it. Anyway, got to get a break in. Vince Ferrara on the other side.
I don't crawl under houses, but I enjoyed hearing that.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Travel accommodations for 97.7 ESPN The Zone provided by University Kia. Your Fox 54 weather.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A fantastic Thursday afternoon across the Tennessee Valley. Plenty of sunshine. Temperatures climbing into the low and mid-80s. It'll be a great evening for any Thursday night high school football games across the Tennessee Valley. We eventually drop into the upper 50s overnight. A partly sunny sky for your Friday. Temperatures climbing into the low and mid-80s. And then a fantastic Friday evening for high school football.
Your Fox 54 weather. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
We are a championship school, and school is in session.
He'll go on the toss to Jam. He cuts it back. He's got a first down.
Join us Saturday as the Crimson Tide battle Tennessee on the third Saturday in October. Our coverage begins at 3:30 on your home for Alabama football.
Your home of the Alabama Crimson Tide is 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. I know your accident is the real thing, and they happen to real people.
I'm attorney Justin Lackey. There's a lot of talk right now about bigger, but when you've had a wreck, is bigger better?
I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. Do you want to be just a case number?
With offices in Huntsville and Scottsboro, we take the time to help.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Sure, Valley Equipment Rental takes care of the homeowner and his needs, but how about the pros out there? Well, Valley Equipment has the big stuff as well. The equipment you need to get any job done. I'm talking about the big track hoe excavators, from the 30,000-pound mid-size one to the big boy 50,000-pound units. Need a dozer on the job? Well, they've got them up to 105 horsepower, and that's a good-sized machine. Plus, Valley Equipment has more lifts than anyone around. Up to 80-foot booms that reach 56 feet with a 10,000-pound capacity. 2 locations, North and South Parkway. Check them out today.
In the Army National Guard, soldiers serve part-time and close to home.
My community means everything to me. It helps shape me into who I am today, and is where I choose to raise my own family. That's why I joined the Army National Guard. I'm proud of where I'm from, and as a soldier, I get to give back to the people that helped me succeed. The education benefits I got from serving helped me get my degree and jumpstart my career. The training and leadership skills I've gained from the Army National Guard help me every day when I teach young people, help my neighbors, and look out for my community. I know that when my neighbors need us the most, my fellow soldiers and I will be ready. My family loves it here, and my part-time service means we get to stay here.
Serve part-time in the community you live in as a proud member of the Army National Guard. Talk to your local recruiter or visit nationalguard.com. Sponsored by the Alabama Army National Guard, aired by the Alabama Broadcasters Association and this station.
The Blitz with Joe Hunk and John Abraham. Weekday morning starting at 9 a.m. on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Don't mind me, I'm just talking Tennessee.
Welcome back, Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond hanging out until 9 o'clock. We've talked a lot about it. Alabama, Tennessee, Saturday. Alabama, 7.5-point favorite. And you look at this thing. Tennessee comes in, 26 sacks on the season. That leads the SEC, second in the FBS. Only Western Michigan has 28. 4 sacks allowed by Tennessee's offensive line this season, tied for the fewest in the SEC, tied for the 8th fewest in college football. Vanderbilt leads that category with 4. But anyway, this game is so polarizing because, like Brooks Austin said, you have Tennessee's offense, which is nationally ranked up there 1-2, as far as production. Alabama's is up there inside the top 10. You got Alabama's defense inside the top 10. And then you got Tennessee's defense, who is near the opposite polar end of the stat category, but yet they find ways to win. They find ways to get it done somehow. It's just very polarizing.
It is, and it's going to be an interesting matchup. I think it's going to be a high-scoring one, but if we're going to talk some Tennessee Vols and we're going to talk the third Saturday in October in this storied rivalry, of course, we're going to feature our next guest, and he's the co-host with his good friend John Wilkerson of Sports Talk from 6 to 9 a.m. Eastern Time, 5 to 8 Central. He's just gotten done with wrapped his show up, but we always enjoy catching up with our next guest. He's also part of the Vol Baseball and Vol Football IMG Vol Network, and that is Vince Ferrara. Vince, how you doing this morning, sir?
Hey, what's up, guys? How we doing?
We're doing well.
Good.
I mean, what's the conversation been like in Knoxville? I mean, I'm sure they're excited for this. They've won 2 of the last 3, and the next step, I guess, for Josh Heupel is to win in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, obviously, as you guys know, it hadn't happened in a long time, 2003. So, yeah, I think it's mixed. I think there's some fans that are confident, feel like, this Tennessee team is going to do it. There's not Nick Saban on the other sideline. So that adds some confidence in just the view of Alabama, to some fans. And then, others are a little nervous about the defense that has not played up to, some preseason expectations. So I'd say overall at this point, conversations have been a little bit mixed.
Vince, how do they feel? How do Tennessee fans feel? The offense, I am sure, under Joey Aguilar, I know he's thrown some picks in the last couple of weeks, but the offense is picking up right where they left off. Josh Heupel, they're putting up big numbers.
Much better fit.
Much better. But defensively on that other side, how confident do you think they feel going into Tuscaloosa, knowing that Alabama has the ability to pick on the secondary?
Well, it's interesting in terms of being able to win in Alabama. It is 2 different conversations, and we'll get into the reasons why I think Tennessee's offense is different than maybe what we've seen in the past, and where Josh Heupel offenses have struggled on the road. But to answer your question about the defense, they've given up a ton of yards. You guys kind of outlined it, as I was coming in, giving up a ton of yards, a ton of points. They're last in the SEC in pass defense. Just third and long conversions, giving up seemingly more third and long conversions and third and short conversions. So it is a different deal with this Tennessee defense. We've seen Tim Banks' defenses get better each and every year statistically, and that has not been the case. So far this year for Tennessee. So it has been they have sort of saved things this year by having by getting the turnovers and all of the sacks in timely fashion. Number one in the country in sacks. You guys talked about that going in, and then obviously the turnovers turned 4 into defensive scores. So that's really saved them. Injuries have certainly been a big part of the equation for them because they have not been fully healthy. They still don't have their 2 starting corners, the original starting corners. And then they just got everybody back on the defensive line last week with David Hobbs and Jackson Moy the week before, 2 of their 3 top defensive tackles. So, those guys are still trying to get back into game shape. We'll see if they're better. They need to get more pressure from their front 4 so they don't have to commit as many guys and throw blitzes. But they still have a lot of really good players, individual players that have helped them kind of turn games, especially from that stand-up Leo spot.
We're talking to Vince Ferrara, Sports Animal 99.1 in Knoxville, Tennessee. Now, I wanted to go back. You were kind of going to expand on this Tennessee offense and how it might be a little different. It's certainly potent. They've got a trio at wide receiver, I think, that's as good as probably since that 22 group. And they're throwing and catching probably about as well as they did under Hendon Hooker and those guys, but also got, I know Bishop's banged up. We'll ask you in a second about his availability, but talk about this Vol offense and how it may translate on the road against Alabama.
Well, yeah, definitely, Drew. And Deshaun Bishop in the availability report was listed as probable. So I know that, those 2 starting running backs have been, a topic of conversation and wondering, with Jam Miller being on there as well and questionable for Bama. And we'll see on the status of both, how effective either one of them looks if they play. Tennessee's got 3 really good backs that they have used, and Bishop's coming off of a career day. So you certainly want to have him and have all 3 guys available. But that ground game has been really good. Really haven't missed a beat overall, just as a collective with those 3 as opposed to Dylan Sampson being the lead back last year. But the reasons why I think Tennessee can sustain a elite road environment, 2 things. One is they don't run tempo down in, down out every single play like they used to, like really they did in 2022. Like you've seen them when they've had struggles on the road against really good teams. And so what would happen is they'd have, a false start or a negative play or, an incompletion. Suddenly you're having to slow down your tempo to make sure you're in the right play. You make sure you have the right call in a critical situation. And so you slow things down and, blank is hitting the fan and this team wouldn't handle it well, because then they're out of sorts. They're out of character. Their tempo was how they would generate success. Now they've evolved since the end of last year. Their offense has evolved. They're not as reliant on the tempo. They do a lot more in terms of plays, formations, wide receiver routes, motions, throwing to the backs. They have Josh Heupel has adjusted what he does offensively, and they don't rely on the tempo every down. They want to go tempo, but they also can execute without it. So when those situations come up, it's not foreign, oh my God, type of moments for them like it used to be. So that's one. And then 2 is they have a veteran and poised quarterback in Joey Aguilar. Yes, he is in his first year through the SEC, but this guy, his blood pressure stays the same. I mean, even when there's been deflections, lead to interceptions or or whatever the case may be, and there haven't been a ton of those, but there have been a few, he just comes right back the next play, and next drive he's leading them to a score. Almost every time they'd have a negative play, he would do something really good, and the team would after that. So I think that kind of poise is something they have not had over the last couple of years, and they're just more diverse and balanced than they've been. Last year they could only run the ball, and they weren't a threat throwing it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, good luck winning in great road environments when you're one dimensional.
And by the way, go ahead, Vince. Yeah.
No, I was going to say, so those are some reasons why it doesn't guarantee them success, but I think they are more equipped to be competitive and have a shot at Alabama this time around.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. If Aguilar, and you mentioned Joey Aguilar, how veteran, how poised he is, if he can get it done, it's hard to believe that he'd be the first quarterback since Casey Clausen to win inside Bryant-Denny Stadium for Tennessee.
Yeah, and that guy was, definitely underrated. I mean, when you accomplish that, you go down in the history books, and you're held in high regard. He's also having a great statistical year too, coming in so late and not missing a beat and elevating this offense to closer to the way it used to be in 2022. It's amazing, guys, that the passing game, the quarterback and the wide receivers was such an unknown, was such a big question mark about this team. Now, maybe the most dependable thing on this team, with how good they've been. They haven't been 100% perfect, but who is in college athletics right now? But it's really made them more of a threat because they can at least score, and they're not just relying on defense and run game like they did last year.
Well, and Vince, also offensive line's done a nice job. Only 4 sacks allowed.
Yeah, for sure. And that I think was a surprise also, because they have 4 new starters on that offensive line, and they haven't even had a start yet from their 5-star true freshman offensive tackle, David Sanders.
That's a good point.
Everyone around the country wanted, right? And he got hurt the Wednesday before the opener. He was slated to be their starting right tackle. The last 2 games, he's played a little bit, and I think they're ramping him up. I don't know about getting to start this game. I think there's still more of a ramp up. That'd be tough to throw him in that situation. But, with the guys that they have rolled in there, they have done an outstanding job. They're on the Joe Moore Award honor roll, midseason honor roll. And this time I think they're closer to warranting and being in contention for that than maybe some other years. So, the offensive line has been solid. The run blocking, like you said, the pass protection, they've been good. And in this offense, at times, you don't need a bunch of first-rounders. You just need guys to do their job. And they've got a number of transfers that have been really good, including Wendell Moy, transfer from Arizona at guard, and then Sam Pendleton, transfer from Notre Dame at center.
Well, and Vince, last question for me. In your mind, for Tennessee to win in Bryant-Denny Stadium for the first time since 2003, and one of my least favorite names, Casey Clausen, because it just seemed like Alabama couldn't beat that guy. But what is the keys for Tennessee to win this game?
It sounds basic, fundamental football 101, Drew, but the turnover battle.
Yeah.
Josh Heupel even said we must win that turnover battle. Tennessee creates those turnovers, especially if you're going to give up yards and points. And Alabama doesn't turn the ball over. So somebody has got to give in that. Either Tennessee's not going to get the turnovers they're used to change games and stay in games, or Alabama's going to turn it over more than we're accustomed to seeing. Who's going to win that tug of war? The other thing is this Alabama team, and you guys know this, this Alabama team isn't committing the turnovers, and we kind of got used to seeing, Alabama be among the most penalized in the league for some years, even go back to the end of the Saban years, just like Tennessee annually is among the most penalized teams in the league. That's continued. 10-1 penalties, Tennessee versus Arkansas last week at home. So Tennessee's got to clean some of that stuff up. You just can't give Alabama freebies in there in that environment. So a couple of fundamentals. The other thing is the explosives in the pass game. Tennessee's pass defense has had miscommunication and breakdowns at times. You can't give 75-yard TDs over the top to Ryan Williams or German Bernard or Isaiah Horton. You're not going to win giving up those explosives. They got to keep Alabama in front of them. So I would say the explosives in the pass game will be big too.
We look forward to your coverage. Great stuff. Let everybody know how to follow you, Vince. And thank you for the time as always.
Yeah, appreciate it. Always love being on with you two fine pros. You can follow me on all the socials, same handle, Instagram, Facebook, on Twitter /X. It's Vince Sports, VINTE Sports. We'll do a wrap up after the game. And then I'm on the local ABC station. We do a pregame show as well. And you can find that coverage at SportsSourceDigitalNetwork.com.
Thank you, brother.
Busy man.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, Vince Ferrara, kind enough to join us. Let's get a break in. Your tomorrow's headlines next. Bruce Pearl has a new job.
And he'll be good at it.
It's not coaching. I think you can fill in the blanks.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Need tough equipment you can count on? Christopher Equipment has you covered. Whether it's air compressors, trenchers, bucket lifts, concrete tools, generators, skid steers, and more. Serving you with locations in Tullahoma, Shelbyville, Manchester, Fayetteville, and Hazel Green. Christopher Equipment. From job site to backyard, rent or buy, Christopher Equipment delivers the tools you need when you need them. Call 931-455-3900 or visit Christopher.equipment today. Christopher Equipment, powering your project.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Have you ever turned your back on God? Have you ever absolutely known the right thing to do and just turned around and walked away in disobedience? I know that I have. Aren't we thankful for our great and merciful God who loves us and forgives us and remembers our sin no more? I'm so thankful that his mercies are fresh every day. I need that, and I suspect you do too. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church, and if you're looking for a church home, come see us. We're smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison, and check us out at cpcfamily.org.
Hey folks, Arthur Seed, managing partner at University Kia, letting you know we are proud supporters of Alabama and Auburn football. Swing by University Kia today and check out our huge selections of brand new Kias, including the spacious Telluride 8-passenger SUV, the slick new K5, the sporty Kia Seltos. We've got perfect cars for every lifestyle and budget. Visit universitykia.com to view all our amazing offers and get pre-approved amenities, because we want to see you in a Kia. Roll Tide, War Eagle.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com. time for tomorrow's headlines today with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
So we mentioned in the 7 o'clock hour that Bruce Pearl was sitting courtside with Seth Greenberg from ESPN last night watching the Auburn exhibition game with Oklahoma State. Yes, he was watching his son Stephen Pearl play. But Pearl also doing a double duty as well, probably because it was announced a short time ago that Bruce Pearl's going to headline TNT's and CBS's new college basketball studio show. Jalen Rose, Jamal Mashburn, Bruce Pearl, Robbie Hummel.
Robbie Hummel. Love me some Hummel.
Gonna be all.
Oh God, here we go.
Well, earlier you were trying to stuff it in the bottle. Now you love the Hummel. I
didn't say JoJo.
JoJo knows tires. Anyway, but Bruce Pearl has himself a new gig, and obviously,
with his charisma, he should be good at it. I mean, he's
it's a short drive from Auburn to Atlanta, by the way, as well.
He sat in with him before anyway when he was coaching. So now he'll just be a full-time analyst and then a full-time ambassador for Auburn.
They're going to be a part of TNT, CBS's coverage of the men's tournament. So there you go. Bruce Pearl has himself a new side hustle.
Yeah, there we go. And speaking of hustling, there'll be some balling in Boutwell today, as Scott mentioned in hour one. Florida State and Alabama women at noon, and then come back tonight at 7 o'clock. Florida State, Alabama men. So some more basketball in Birmingham, courtesy of Hibbett Sports. If you can't make it out there to the game, it should be on the YouTube channel.
Get your snooze alert out. You got NFL tonight as well.
Yeah,
Steelers and Bengals.
Yeah. Steeler Mike will be watching that one close.
Oh, anyway, that's what you get tonight.
I'm sure you enjoyed Vince Ferrara's outstanding analysis. We appreciate Vince for coming on and
appreciate Brooks Austin as well.
Tennessee, yeah, the dump button.
He didn't mean.
Yeah, he got fired up because we all know Hugh Freeze is on the hot seat.
Can you imagine that? I mean, we were sitting in Atlanta.
Yeah.
We were sitting in Atlanta going through SEC Media Days. And, of course, the one name you mentioned was Sam Pittman. That's the one name you're like, Sam Pittman, and then Billy. But can you imagine if it all holds out that you would lose Sam Pittman, Billy Napier, Hugh Freeze, and potentially Mark Stoops in one season?
And there could be more than that because there could be some carousel. Coach Drink, we'll see if he's on the move. Is Lane Kiffin going to stay in Oxford? Because his time's precious and he has more than 5 minutes.
We have more than 5 minutes.
Yeah.
We have 120 minutes every single day. We have time. We know your time is precious. We've got time as well. We'll do it another 120 minutes tomorrow on a Friday.
And James Clements is looking forward to our time.
Yes. We're going to give them 5 minutes.
And our Bryant Bank money.
$500.
You've been paying on that life insurance policy for years, but maybe you don't really need it anymore, or it's gotten a bit too expensive. Well, before you just let it expire, let Neighbors Insurance Solutions share with you some alternatives that you haven't considered. Don't throw away something that still may have great value for you. If you want to learn more about what Neighbors Insurance Solutions can do for you, call 256-763-7693.